Shalom. We're going to be going over the Passover account of Messiah and the Brit Hadashah. But briefly, before we get into that, we're going to do a quick review from the first videotape up here on the Exodus account. Here we have when they brought the lamb into their homes on the 10th day. Here we have on the 15th day, beginning the 15th day, closing out the 14th day when they killed it on the 14th day at the evening, thus far bringing them into the 15th day where they eat the lamb with unleavened bread and starts the days of unleavened bread, the 7 days of unleavened bread. Here we go, from the 15th, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 7 days. It's possible to get 7 days from 15 to 21. Okay, so this is where they killed the lamb. This is when they came out of the land of Egypt. Yah says that on the self-same day, he brought them out in the morning by night. Okay, so that is possible that they come out in the morning by night. All right. Right here, we'll see that this is when Messiah came into Jerusalem, into the city, on the 10th day. We'll see that Messiah was also crucified on the evening of the 14th, thus far bringing them into the 15th day, the Feast of Passover, and we'll continue from there. I don't understand there's a lot of different doctrines stating that Messiah was keeping a separate Passover than the Yahudim. He kept an early Passover. Just a lot of different doctrines. But we're going to lean on what Scripture is telling us about Messiah fulfilling this festival. First things first, let us continue let us begin with John chapter 12, verses 1, so we can get a timeline of when Messiah came into the city. John 12, verses 1. Then Yeshua, 6 days before the Passover, came to Bethany, where Lazarus was, which had been dead, whom he raised from the dead. Okay, so right here it clearly states in John 12:1 that 6 days before the Passover, he was at John's house. Okay, so now we go to John chapter 12, verses 12. And it's going to say, on the next day, much people that were come to the feast when they heard that Yeshua was coming to Jerusalem. Okay, so this is what happens. When we take away 1 from 6 equals 5. Now we know and understand that from the 10th day to the closing out of the 14th day is 5 days. From the beginning of the 10th day, which is the closing out of the 9th day, because Yah counts his days from evening to evening. So the 10th day begins at the evening of the closing out of the 9th day. So we count a full entire day for the 10th. That's 1, a full entire day for the 11th, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Thus far, 5 closing it out at the evening of the 14th. Okay, so 6 days before the Passover, on the following day, Yeshua comes into the city, into Jerusalem. So we take 1 away from 5, we take 1 away from 6, and it equals 5. So we have Messiah in John chapter 12, verses 12, coming into the city at the same time that Israel was commanded to bring the lamb into their homes in the Exodus account on the 10th day of Abib. Okay, so let us continue. We're going to go to Matthew's chapter 26, verses 2, and it says, this is how it reads, Ye know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. Okay. The Greek interlinear does not say the Passover feast, but it says the Passover is becoming, and the Son of Man shall be betrayed or impaled. Okay, so this is where we are. We're 2 days away from the Passover. All right. Now, 5 days ago, he just came into the city 5 days ago. Now we count 3 from that 5th day. 1, 2, 3. Okay, here's Messiah right here. This is when he says this, right? Now we have him right here. Matthew 26:2 says Yeshua in 2 days. All right, in 2 days. Now the reason it says in 2 days is because we got to count the day that he's in. He's in the 4th day. Okay, so Matthew 26:2, we find him right here on the 13th day. This would be the 13th day as far as the Exodus account is concerned. All right, right here, Matthew 26:2. You probably can't see this; you're a little far off, but I'm gonna try my best to, see if you can follow through. Okay, Matthew 26:2. More importantly, this is how the interlinear reads in that part. It does not say Passover feast, but it says the Passover is becoming, and the Son of Man shall be betrayed or impaled. Okay, 2 days. 2 days includes the time from when he made that statement. You have to include that day. The day that he made that statement, you have to count that day. We have to count that day, okay, in order to get these numbers right. Matthew 26:17. Now the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the disciples came to Yeshua, saying unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? This becomes a problem, okay? This becomes a problem what's being said here. Now this word first is a problem, because on the first day of unleavened bread, they would be not preparing to eat the Passover. You see what I'm saying? So what happens is, if they were already into the first day of unleavened bread, there would be no preparing the Passover lamb. There would be no preparing for the Passover, because they're already well into the first day of unleavened bread. Excuse me. Okay, so what happens here? This word first in the Strong's Greek is protos. First in time or place, in succession of things or persons, first in rank. And we go down to the root word of this word, protos, and it is the Strong's Greek number 4253, which means before. Before. So now this makes a lot more sense. Before. Okay? So now let's read this again. Now before unleavened bread, the disciples came to Yeshua, saying unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? Okay? And he said, Go into the city to such a man, and say unto him, The master saith, My time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. Okay? In Matthew 26:18, seems like Messiah is telling them that he will keep the Passover at this man's house. But let's read this from the Greek translation as is written in the interlinear. The yet be underlaying into the city toward the so-and-so, and say to him, The teacher is saying, The season of meat is near you. I am doing the Passover with the learned ones of me, and the learners are as together sets the Yeshua, and they make ready the Passover. Okay.